Going today. Oh Lord Jesus. Oh my God, it's such a good day. It's a beautiful day here in LA, and I'm excited to get down and dirty into today's topic. I'm going back now to some contest prep stuff. I got a little off track there. I was on a tangent talking about like ab training and leg training and all that other, general fitness stuff. And I guess, listen, I gotta please my whole audience. I gotta talk to everybody. So anyway, I'm back and in full effect. And today I want to go ahead and take on some common things and common questions when it comes to your contest prep. So like I said, today's topic is going to touch upon something that someone actually asked me recently on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel. And it's a topic that I think that a lot of you guys deal with and go through, the topic of getting lean, getting your body nice, tight, and right to where it needs to be for the stage. But more importantly, this particular person had asked me, can everybody get lean and ready for the stage? Can everyone go for that extreme of the stage and what's being basically rewarded within the NPC and the IFBB specifically? And so I want to go ahead and talk about that. So during the broadcast, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them into the box, and I'll make sure to answer them. So I always have some notes. I make notes because I don't want to forget nothing. I want to make sure I got everything covered. So you're going to see me look down at my screen a little bit, then bring my eyes back up. It's all good. Y'all know what's going on. So going into who this is for specifically, because I don't want to waste your time if this doesn't pertain to you. But today's talk is for those of you who are currently competing in figure or women's physique, and you seem to have a very difficult time coming in. This is also for those of you who naturally have a more endomorphic type of body, and you're looking for some answers on how to make your body respond a little bit better and to just figure out what's going on. And I also want to just wrap up by saying, this is really great for those of you who just want to kind of know a process by which would be the best way to make your bodies go along and just go ahead and make the changes that you want to see. So if that's you, let's dive into the talk. Again, if you have questions throughout our broadcast, just make sure you go ahead and post them. So here's the thing. The figure division, women's physique too, but really figure this year has really evolved on the national level and on the pro level of the sport. Whereas a couple of seasons ago, we saw more athletic type of physiques. You know what I mean? The girls had muscle, but it wasn't like overly muscular. The girls were lean, but they weren't like dry, shredded hard. Then over the last maybe 2 or 3 seasons or so, the look has really dramatically changed. And for a lot of you, you're chasing that carrot right now, and it's hard for any of us, for all of us, to get to that extreme level of leanness. And, what I got to say is that, the truth of the matter is that some body types might find it harder to reach that level. And it's going to take work for you to get there. Now, what should you do is always the question. Well, let me go back a little bit. When I talk about these types of bodies, like who can I pull from visuals that you can see that you would relate to? For me, who comes to mind? Nicole Wilkins. She always comes to mind for me because she's one of the top athletes in our sport. She was, 4-time Miss Olympia, Figure Olympia. And she's always had a softer type of physique, when she was really, the winner. And that's one thing that the judges really always liked about her. She had that muscularity, that balance, that symmetry. Everything was fantastic, but she still had a suppleness about her physique. And now as the division has evolved, it's been interesting to watch her evolve with it, right? Because she has a kind of body that I'm kind of touching upon here. Whereas no matter how hard you try or how hard you really push, getting to that lean level that we're seeing with the top 3 girls is a little bit more difficult for her. And she actually went from 4th place from last year to 5th place. She was bumped down. And so, and there's nothing when you're top 5 at the Olympia, you're top 5 in the world. So she's still a formidable competitor. But this is something to see that you guys can actually pay attention to on the highest level of our sport. Now, here's an interesting thing about the Olympia this year. And I'm going off on a tangent. Someone had tagged me and asked me like, oh, what's your opinion about like what's going on with who's going to win the day of the show? I wasn't really paying attention to the Olympia that day. I was just doing other things. So I didn't see the prejudging, but I was going to watch finals. And so I saw a picture of the top three women, and Sid was in the middle, and you had Latoya and you had Candace. And it didn't occur to me that like they said Sid it finished in the middle. And the way that Sandy Williamson does her judging, she like switches people around. So you never know who's going to be in the middle, right? You never know who's going to win because she always does that. She's like, all right, let's put everybody in the middle. Great. So, but it didn't occur to me that Sid would actually win because that would be jumping from like third place to the win, like over Latoya, over Candice Lewis. And it just was like, I mean, I didn't foresee that. But when she won, to me, it was great, but it was also a huge statement in the sport, if you ask me, because Sid carries less muscle than the other two women, our other top two figure competitors. And so it could be just another shift that may be happening right now with the figure division where the judges are trying to reel it back in a little bit and reward a smaller physique, because whoever is the Olympia winner is always going to set the tone for the rest of the division, whether it's the pro level or the amateur level. So that's something interesting to talk about. Now, for those of you who carry a lot of muscle, it's like, oh shit, what do I do? Just do your thing. For those of you who have like a little less muscle maybe, but you can come in lean and hard, you're great. But that still leaves those of you who are like the Nicole Wilkins. That's like, shit, you still have to be like lean. And can I do that? So let's talk about some things. And I'm going to pull up my notes again about what you can do and what's going on. So why is this problem happening for you in the first place? A lot of this has to do with hormones. Really, honestly, it has to do with hormones. And, certain body types tend to hold, body fat in certain areas of your body more than other people. There is a huge genetic component to this as well, you guys. It's like this. I always say that degrees of leanness are dictated by your diet as much as it is by your genetics and by your hormones too. If you have imbalances with your estrogen levels, you have imbalances with cortisol and DHEA, things like that can actually affect how well your body stores fat, holds on to fat, and how lean it can get in any show. And that's why for those of you who are more advanced, it's probably a good idea for you to, after every show in your off season and stuff like that, even before you start your next prep, to get a full panel blood test to know what you're playing around with. Because that can dictate how you diet, it can dictate how you train, and it can just kind of dictate what's going on with you internally. So you're not running around in the same freaking circles wondering if there's something wrong with you and, not seeing your body respond to what you're doing. So knowing your levels is important. So there is a hormonal and there is a genetic component to all of this. The other thing is this, and I want to say this, and this might seem a little bit harsh, okay? But I don't mean it to be, but it's just the truth, because honestly, you guys, we play in a sport. Not everybody who plays ball can be up in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody who knows how to shoot a hoop could be up in the NBA. And the thing about our sport is that there's such a low barrier of entry. I mean, basically speaking, you just say, I want to do a freaking show, and you get up and you do a show, and that's it. There's no qualification along the way to say that, do you have the genetics for this? Do you have the structure for this? Can your body get lean enough for this? You know what I mean? So a lot of you guys are spinning your wheels thinking that, this, that, and the third. And it's not necessarily even just dieting and training that's going to get you there alone. It's the stuff that you're dealing with internally that you're not even paying attention to. So get your levels checked and know what's going on. So I guess that leads to the next thing. Like, what is it that you can do? Because I don't want you guys to watch this broadcast and feel like hopeless. Like, oh shit, I can't compete because my genetics suck. No, I want you guys to still do what you do. I still want you guys to go out and train. But the first thing that you want to look at, for those of you who have a body type that's more stubborn when it comes to getting extra lean, is to tweak your diet to something that works for you. So the first thing we're going to look at, if you don't have the funds or the opportunity or whatever, to go and look at your hormones and get full panels and all this other stuff and know what's really truly going on, start playing with your diet more. First of all, give yourself enough time to diet. So for those of you who know that you have a stubborn body, don't start your prep at 12 weeks out thinking you won't get there with any iota of muscle on your body or any iota of lines, okay? So give yourself at least 16 weeks to go out there and do what you have to do. But then take a look at your diet. Take a look at your diet and tweak it so that way it's something that works for you. Now, I'm not going to advocate for specific protocols because everybody's body is so different. That could be low carb for you. It could be like extremely low carb in the form of keto. It could be higher carbs. It could be carb cycling. It could be a number of things. You have to find what works for you and then apply that and stick to it. There be like this thing in the industry that if you're not doing this, then you're not really pushing your body the way that you need to, and this is why you're not seeing results. Kind of try to start to block stuff like that out and start working with what works for you, because if you do that, then you'll always be on the right path. The other thing is that you guys might actually have to lower your calories a bit more than someone who isn't dealing with this kind of thing. For instance, it's like I have clients that I've worked with who've had this kind of situation, and although they might say, let's say you have a competitor who's 130 pounds, I wouldn't necessarily want to put them on a diet that's sub 1,300 calories, because in my mind it's just, my mind is so logical in the way that it works, and that's your basal metabolism. How the hell are you supposed to train or do anything else? We can really actually stall metabolism doing that. But when you're dealing with someone with a slow metabolism, you got to do something, right? So pushing the calories a little bit lower, maybe about, instead of 1,300 calories, we'll try 1,200, 1,100. But the key is that you don't want to do that for a long period of time. That's why you have to allow yourself enough time to diet. But also consider throwing in cheat meals and refeeds as the body dictates it. So when you start to see that things start to slow down and stall a bit, that's when you want to up your calories a little bit closer to maintenance for just a day or so, and then watch your body as it goes through the next couple of days. You'll probably find that you're actually starting to lose weight, lose fat, lose inches, and all that stuff. So for you guys, you're going to have to probably push your calories a little bit lower than you want to. Now, don't be eating 1,000 or 1,800 calories a day, okay? I did not frickin' say that. But if you take your body weight times 10, right, whatever number you get, if you're 165 pounds, that's 1,650 calories. Instead of trying to stay around that or so like that, you might have to go down to 1,400, 1,450 and see how your body responds, and then throw in those caloric boosts in there along the way as you need it. Okay. The next thing that I would say for you guys is to mix up your cardio so you're having the highest output possible and literally incinerating calories. Now, what does that mean? There are studies out there that say that high intensity interval training is really superior when it comes to fat loss, right? High intensity interval training is the way to go when it comes to really getting results that you want to see, especially when we talk about the levels of leanness that we have to get for the stage. You want to put all the damn stops out, you know what I mean? So for my clients, when I'm doing prep programs, whether they have a slow metabolism or not, everybody is going to be mixing up the cardio. So we don't just rely on steady state cardio, which can teach your body to be actually very efficient. And an efficient body is one that's not burning calories, you guys, seriously. So you want to mix that stuff in there, but put intervals in there, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, high intensity interval training with 20 seconds full out balls to the wall intensity, recovering for 40 seconds and repeating that cycle for about 20 minutes or so. Sometimes I'll do stuff like in the morning, I might give my clients maybe 45 minutes or so of cardio, and then in the afternoon when they're working out, doing their weights or whatever, afterwards go ahead and hit 20 minutes of HIIT training. Or I might even do something like, hey, do 10 minutes of HIIT in the morning, followed by 30 minutes of steady state right after that, so that's 40 minutes total. And then in the afternoon, we'll do some metabolic circuits to keep the heart rate up and still keep that strength training going, and maybe just 5 minutes of HIIT. It just really depends on the person. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But as you can see, what I'm talking about is mixing it up so that way your body doesn't get to a point where it starts to acclimate too easily to what you're doing. It's easier to actually not cut your calories so super low that you start losing muscle and stuff like that. It's easier to do more output, to put in more work, to burn more calories than it is to have to resort to that, So whatever you can do to have a greater output, honey, do it. That's exactly what you definitely need. The next tip that I have for you is now, okay, listen, we're talking the bodybuilding game here, so I'm going to be freaking honest with you guys, okay? If you're trying to turn pro and you want to go on the national level, or if you are a pro and you're trying to get to the Olympia, you kind of have to be a little bit open to hormonal manipulation. Whatever the hell that means for you, I'm not going to go there. Okay, you talk to your coach and you figure it out, okay? But like, in all honesty, guys, I mean, what do you think is making these women get so freaking lean? It's hard for women, period, to get shredded, dry, diced, striated muscle. It is hard as a mud rise, okay? It's hard. So you have to have that conversation with yourself, honey, because I can't have it with you. Your coach can have it with you, but they shouldn't be forcing anything on you. But considering, hormonal manipulation is one thing that you might have to resort to if getting to the next level is that important to you. For some people it is, and that's fine. And what do I mean by that? For a lot of you, that could mean like estrogen blockers and stuff like that. Like some of it is like a lot of oral stuff, taking things that raise your androgen levels. And stuff like that. I'm not naming any names. I'm not telling you what to take. So don't ask me in this question box or anything like that. I'm just being honest. Y'all want honesty. You want people to talk to you like we really talking about the game. I'm talking to you about the game. All right. And it's not anything. You don't even have to take like needles and stuff like that. It's not, they have oral stuff that can get you there. So you have to be willing to like be open to that if this is something that's important to you. And here's the thing. That doesn't even guarantee anything, because there are some women who have taken things and yes, they've gotten further along than they have, but they haven't necessarily gone over the top. And for them to go over the top, that's when they might have to start using heavier compounds. And when you have to start asking yourself those kind of questions, like then, you might want to decide to go to some other organization if it's really that important for you to compete. So that's a personal decision, guys, and something that you have to make on your own. So that's the God honest truth. All right, that's just the way it is. I hope y'all appreciate Roxy telling you like it is. Do I have any questions over here? It doesn't look like I have any questions, which is great, which is fine. But what I'll say is this. I want you guys to go ahead to the description of this video, okay, and scroll down, and in it, I put a link. I put a link in there for those of you guys or ladies, those of you women who are in prep or who are competitors, period, not even in prep. You could be off season or whatever, and you want to learn about, diet and how to put your nutrition together when it comes to healthier ways to do what we do and get on stage without ruining your body, ruining your metabolism, causing metabolic damage, and all this stuff, okay? So I have a webinar. It's called 5 Strategies to a Smarter Contest Prep Diet. Go ahead and click the link. You'll see it says rockstarfitness.com/contest prep diet secrets webinar. Long name, but it's instant access. So you go there, click the link, put in your email address. I will give you instant access to the video. Honey, let me tell you, people have been loving the content in this video. So if you're a woman out there and you want to learn how to diet smarter and to really have some longevity in this sport, because it's such a rewarding thing. You know what I mean? It's so rewarding. And if you really want to up your game, whether you have a child that knocked over my glass, whether you have a coach or not, it doesn't matter. You should always come armed with knowledge. Armed with knowledge. The more you know, the better you can execute. And before I go, because I got to go, I got work to do, those of you who are watching this video who been thinking about working with me, maybe you're sitting on the fence right now, you're kind of like in that limbo where you're like, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to step up my game, get some coaching, work with Roxy specifically. Come on by, just set up a discovery call. That's all we need to do. I want to find out more about what's on your mind. I want to find out more about what your specific goals are. See if we have like a loose game plan for getting you to that next level, whether it's going through an off season, going through a smarter contest prep, or whatever it is that you want. Let's discuss that and see where you fit in with my packaging. Now listen, people ask me all the time, Roxy, what are your rates? What are your rates? Listen, I'm affordable. I'm affordable for those of you that want to make that investment. And it's really important for you guys to work with coaches who care about you, who want to see you do well, and who want to invest in you. I call my off season, actually I call them competitor development programs, because I like to develop competitors. So come on by. I've got something for you. Got something for every budget. So come on by. Well, not every budget, but most budgets. Come on by and let's talk. Let's talk and talk about what's on the next level. That link is also in the description of this video too. All right, guys, talking about clients, I got a lot of client stuff to do right now, programs, this, that, and the third. So post your comments in the comment box. And then we'll connect. All right, guys, I love you guys. I see the hearts. I see the likes. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay, bye, toodles.